Hello, everybody. No, you're supposed to say hi. He keeps saying bye. I don't know why. Hi, bye. I guess we're on. So, guess what? I have a grandbaby here again. And next Friday, he'll be here again. I'm not frustrated with his parents. I'm frustrated with my daughter-in-law's job, who keeps setting a schedule for her that's going to be a set schedule from here on out, just to change it week by week. So the reason I had selected Fridays in the hey, leave that alone. The reason I had selected Fridays in the first place was because that was one of the changes, is that she wasn't going to be working on Fridays. She was going to be working on Sundays instead. And I'm like, perfect. So, but I got my schedule set now, and I'd kind of like to stick with it. I did cover up the foosball table with a blanket, so it won't be quite so noisy, but he seems to be finding other ways to make up for the noise. So, capture moments as they happen. Something just popped up here. Never seen that before. Okay, crazy. Hey, I want you to stop doing that. He was being really good until I got started. So hopefully this is going to go well. I do have some treats for him. And hey, don't forget, you can go color. You want to go color on the board over there? Over there. See, remember, Grandma got the pens out. The whiteboard and dry eraser markers out for him. Over there, buddy. Go color. You want to go draw pictures? Yeah, here. Come over here so you can say hi to everybody. Say hi.
Bye.
Bye. He does say hi. I don't know why he keeps saying bye. Hi.
Bye.
You guys all gotta leave again. So anyway, go color.
Bye.
Or go find the ball. Where's the ball? Go get the ball. Ball. Okay. Crazy. So while I'm just kind of here, what'd you do with it, buddy? I'm just filling up the air with sound right now until just give everybody time to get in here. And it's probably like coming on early. Just it helps remind people I'm here, make them less likely, if they're available, to miss the opening and the actual topic. What'd you do with it? You were kicking it all over the place. Bye-bye. So anyway, just before I came on here, though, I found this. I want to see if anybody recognizes this. I don't even remember where I got it from, but it seems kind of old. It's a National Grange family cookbook from Country Kitchens. And I thought, let's get it so there's no glare on it. I thought it was kind of neat. I'm assuming it might have got to get in the camera. I'm assuming it might have come from my mother-in-law's things. But I'm like, why do I not remember this? Because I have all my like older books, because I do collect vintage and antique books. And I have some over here. I have them in various places throughout the house, some just because they look cool. But see, I love the cover. Yeah, it's neat, isn't it? And I don't see any writing in it, but it looks like it's been well used. Well, maybe not well used. But yeah, just the look of it, it seems like there's no gear. Obviously, this was something that one of those kind of cookbooks that was put together by a bunch of local, not local to here necessarily, could have been, but I don't know. But you know how a lot of people will get together, whether it be a church group or something, veterans or whatever, and put together a cookbook. It's that style. And I just saw that. I was just looking at my old books and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't remember this one. So I was wondering if anyone had seen one like this and had a book, had this particular one or something very similar. Just curious because it looks pretty cool. So I'm going to have to skim through there and see what kind of recipes I might have. Be nice to the dog. So Luna doesn't want to be in the other room by herself. So I I brought a big old fat pillow over here for her to lay on and be close to me. So she has a harder time being anywhere alone, especially now that her brother is gone. Poor thing. She yeah, she needs a lot more attention these days. Oh, and then the other thing I was going to show you guys is Patrick made this hardwood. I don't remember what kind of wood, if he said it is a tamper specifically for the classic Vitamix. You know, there's like several different. Oh, thank you, Karen. Thank you. That was very kind and generous of you. I appreciate that. Anyway, he made this. Somebody ordered it. And the thing is Patrick's time for making stuff like this isn't what it used to be. He doesn't have the time to just pump out a bunch of wood products. That's why we removed a lot of these things from our product list, because some of it is the availability of the wood, the time it takes for him to mill up the wood, and then to create this on his lathe. But he's got, he has all these dimensions. So it's the exact replica of the plastic one that people get with their Vitamix, except for this is hardwood. But anyway, somebody ordered it. This was like last year. Never paid us for it. So here it still sits. So if anybody's wanting a tamper, I can't remember what we're charging. It might be $60 plus shipping, because there's time and work and involved in making that. But he does, when he has time, he'll make up a tamper like he does the vegetable tampers. He does the sock darners. And little giggle butt over here. Are you being nice to the dog? Don't be mean to her, okay? He will do that if people order them, but it is a little frustrating when he does the work and then all of a sudden you stop hearing from the person after communicating back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth, and then doing the work, because I'm doing the work of the communication back and forth. And then he does the work, and then bam, they're gone. Not another word. So this is why there's reasons why we don't accept checks and why we have to be careful. We can't just ship stuff off to people and then hope they're going to pay us, because it's time and money involved. Anyway, it is pretty cute, isn't it? Just keep being nice to her. Just pet her, okay? He's a boy. Likes to pick on the dog. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on this topic. I thought it would be kind of a fun and interesting topic. And but I better do my greeting. Oh, yeah, just a reminder before I start that I did put the link both in the description box below here and in the chat up above for the backup stream in case YouTube cuts me off. What will happen is you'll see that freeze up. You'll see it kind of spinning, spinning, spinning. I'll notify you in the chat that I'm moving to the secondary stream, but give me a minute to unprivatize it. I got to make it public first and then get it going. It still takes a couple minutes, even though I have it set up and as ready as it can be. So anyway, hello, everybody. Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. So glad you guys are able to drop in and listen to me babble and listen to my grandson being giggly and silly in the background. So today we are talking about extreme couponing and is it worth it? Now, let me give you a little background before I get onto more into this topic, is that years and years ago, back when I would plan out my shopping trips, we only had at the time 2 grocery stores in the town. Now we have one, other than we have convenience stores, but we have one grocery store, one monopoly. But the 2 different grocery stores, you could, at the time, at least kind of compete with each other, and they would have different sales at different times, and each store would have their own coupons and sales, and then you could double up. And yeah, I used to do coupons, but even a lot of the coupons you would come across in the newspapers and the different things, they were I started realizing that I'm only buying this product because there's a coupon on it. I never buy this product, like little pudding cups maybe for the kids that I would never buy otherwise, but, "Oh, I'm buying it because there's a coupon on it." Well, if you'd stop being so crazy, you wouldn't hurt yourself. Do you need a smooch? Okay, he's alright. Um, and so I just really got out of the habit, and now I really don't even shop here in town. There's several reasons why I don't do that, but, part of it, the whole monopoly thing, the whole yeah, there's a lot of politics there, but anyway, though I like to keep my money as local as possible, there's certain reasons why I don't do that. So, and then on top of the fact, there's just a lot of things that we cannot get locally anyway, and so this is where places like Azure Standard, Misfits Market, and the like come into play, where now I'm shifting more and more from and Butcher Box as well, from places like all those. I still will purchase from them from time to time, but or even Costco online. But I'm switching more and more to Azure Standard. I can get more quality, healthy items for a decent price, especially now that we have a drop point. And you don't use coupons with that stuff. They do have sales, but you don't use coupons with this stuff. However, I had never seen this show before, but because of some of the other research and things I've been looking into, it started popping up in my For You on YouTube, and that is that show, Extreme Couponing. Excuse me. And I thought, sorry. And I thought, well, I've heard of this, but this is really interesting. And so I watched several of them. And what I don't want to, okay, how am I going to put this? I think there's value to it to an extent, but I also see a lot of stuff in there that would be like, for me, that certainly would not apply. Now, some of the benefits could be like, okay, yeah, if you know how to do it and you do it right, you can get groceries for free. So if you've never watched the show, typically what happens is these people will go in and do for the sake of the show. I don't think they would shop this big every time, but they'd be saving up all their coupons, clipping these coupons, watching the sales, and then when the crew comes to shoot the video about them, the episode, then they will go do this really massive shopping trip and buy like anywhere from $600 to $1,000 worth of groceries and walk out of there paying only a few cents, nothing, maybe even getting money back, or maybe 50 bucks for hundreds of dollars worth of groceries. And I'll give them what I can appreciate about it is their organization, the time they spent pouring into it, and really doing the math and having these really nice, neat pantries full of food and cleaning supplies and more. And, as those of us who try to be a little more preparedness minded for the sake of emergencies, yeah, this is a great thing. What I also liked was this where those people that were doing that and then able to have extra to give to people in need, to donate to food banks and the like. So there can be some value in it. Let's see if I had. Okay. And it can be a good way to just quickly, well, not quickly. It can be a good way to get a pantry stocked for little to no money. However, now let's get on to the cons of this. That, well, I'll just get into it. So, first of all, is the time involved. Like somebody already mentioned in comments, it is a full time job on its own. And I'm not kidding. These people are spending anywhere from 30 hours minimum per week, and those are the ones that have jobs outside of the home, to 60 hours a week, cutting coupons, sorting, watching for sales. This is every week, and planning and figuring and all that. So you're talking a full-time job, all right? And on top of the fact, another thing that was already mentioned is that when you're looking at, or at least I know it was mentioned on my Facebook post that I put in the group page, or my Facebook page on, Rain Country Homestead, to announce that I'm doing this live show, that somebody said, I find that a lot of coupons are for products I don't use. Exactly. And now, if all these people are using all these products, okay, good. That's good. However, I got those out for you. Do you want those, buddy? Hang on a minute. I'm getting some little gummies here. Here's a little organic gummies. The yummy gummies. There you go. But okay, let me double check here. But yeah, they're almost always, when it comes to food, most of the coupons you're going to get, unless they're in-store coupons, from the store itself, they're typically going to be for prepackaged foods. You're talking macaroni and cheese, canned soups, juices, sodas, candy bars, you name it. Anything is prepackaged. Gravy packs, soup packs. Shush. He's telling her to be quiet. And so when you start looking at the images, the photos, or you're watching these videos and you're seeing these people's pantries, mostly what they have is a lot of junk food and bottles and bottles and jugs of cleaning supplies, that a lot of these cleaning supplies are really not the best. They can be rather toxic. And you can make a lot of those cleaning supplies you can just have a few natural ingredients on hand and make just about any type of cleaner. If you've got baking soda, vinegar, even homemade vinegar, which is even cheaper because you can make it virtually free, maybe some borax, some washing soda, ammonia. You can make your own cleaning supplies for really, really cheap, for just pennies. And it doesn't even take long to make them. And when you're stocking up on a few simple ingredients like that, yeah, stock all you want. But those are going to take up far less space in your pantry than a whole bunch of plastic jugs full of laundry detergents, dishwashing detergents, and more. So it really comes down to, before I continue, I do want to say this. It really comes down to, where is your mindset? What are your priorities? And yeah, well, I guess that's it. And what kind of space do you have? So if you're pouring 30 to 60 hours a week into couponing, because it really, to be able to get the groceries, to do what these ladies, or some of them are men, are doing, and leave the stores with hundreds of dollars of groceries where they only spend a few dollars, it is a full-time job, and you're having to sacrifice the time that you could be making foods, healthier foods from scratch for just pennies for your family, and thus saving more money down the road on medical bills from all the junk that you're not consuming. So, and another con is that, like around here, that just would not work. We don't have these kind of grocery stores. I noticed that in a lot of these, people are going to a Piggly Wiggly. We don't even have a Piggly Wiggly in Washington State anymore. I know when I was a kid, there was at least one over in Federal Way, Washington, where my grandparents lived, because we'd gone there once or twice. But I looked it up. There's none in Washington State anymore. And so, with that said, there are certain stores that will not work with coupons the way these people are doing. And so here's the other thing that they typically have to do to make their coupons work is they have to break everything up into separate transactions, which then takes even longer. You're holding up a line, you're causing people to have to wait on you. And these people that were when they're doing these big massive hauls all at once, they're in the store for a minimum of 4 to 6 hours. The checkout alone is 2 hours. And I'm just like, I would absolutely hate that. I would hate that so much. Now, if it's a hobby, you love it, it brings you joy, and yeah, I don't want to slam on it because there are a lot worse things people could be doing with their time. But again, when you just look at when you look at how much are you really saving? Even if you walk out of that store with hundreds of dollars worth of groceries that they're calling free, and maybe they didn't pay anything, how much time that they're investing into it, again, is a full-time job. And so it's not free. It's not at all free. That's like, that's like me saying, well, this is free. This tamper that my husband put some time and effort into making, this beautiful Vitamix tamper, is free. I should just give it away because it's free. Excuse me? No. There was time involved. Time. All right? And when you look at, if you're a grandparent, if you're a parent and you've got kids, like there was one lady I saw this one part where her kid's wanting attention. Wanting her to do something. Not now. Go do something else. I'm busy. She's cutting her coupons. Now, as someone who is a very busy person, who's sometimes editing videos, I do have to say, okay, you guys, hang on a minute. Let grandma do this first. Or, maybe I'm in the kitchen washing dishes. Yeah, I mean, obviously, sometimes we have to tell our kids to wait a minute. But when some of these things become more important than quality time that could be spent investing in your kids, investing in a healthy diet for them, there's some priorities people need to set there. I mean, and I'm sure this lady probably balances it out in other ways. Please don't do that. Okay, it's too noisy. Go find don't do that. It's too noisy. Is grandma have to go put you on timeout? Anyway, okay, you need to stop. Go find something else to do. Here, take your little dive. Sorry, you guys. He's been so good the last couple of times. It's okay. Grandma loves you. Come here. Grandma loves you. But he's also been a little obstinate. When you tell him to stop doing something, then he'll keep doing it. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but to me, it's really noisy. So, okay, let me look at something else here. I want to make sure I'm covering all my notes. Okay, so not all stores will honor that kind of stuff. And I know I'm pretty sure our store wouldn't work that way, especially knowing what I know. Then here's the other thing too. If you're going from store to store to store to store to get all these deals, okay, how much fuel are you spending? How much wear and tear are you putting on your rig to do that? So again, everything has a balance. There really is a cost to everything. And while I think it can have a lot of value, I think there's certain things, like not everybody has the ability or even the time because of their full-time job to make soap or make some of the things that we do from scratch. So when you're talking things like cleaning supplies, okay, maybe that could have some value. I wrote down a few other things too. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. What was it? Okay, where was it? And maybe, toilet paper, vitamins or over-the-counter medications, tape, paper, pens, pencils. I mean, there's a lot of things like that I could see maybe being worth it. But since I pretty much make all my own cleaning supplies, I, make my own soap and then make a lot of things from scratch. There's just so much of that I don't see worth putting in that kind of time when I can much better take that time, make this stuff from scratch, and still have time left over to do other things, like maybe learn a new skill. Could you imagine if you freed up 60 hours a week? You set the couponing thing aside, freed yourself up 60 hours a week. What else could you do with that time that would, in the end, be more valuable? Be more valuable because you could be learning new skills. You could be spending more quality time with your children and grandchildren. You could be making more healthy things from scratch. You could be growing a garden. So, most of these people, I don't know that any of them had gardens. There was one person, I will say, that at least she used a lot of her couponing for buying ingredients to make things a little more from scratch, like maybe buying canned tomatoes and then taking those tomatoes and making salsa and so on. Because that's what I did before we started growing our own tomatoes. I would buy canned tomatoes, like a whole bunch of them. Then I'd have them on hand for making salsas, making chilies, et cetera, et cetera. But, and they also did hunt too. So they put up their own meat. So this lady did also can things as well. I don't recall if she actually, what do you got now? All right, who spilled that? Was that you? That looks like something that happened the other day. Sorry, I sidetracked. That's the other issue with having a grandbaby I got to pay attention to. I need to stop calling him a baby. He's not really a baby. He's a little boy. He's playing with the car. So that's okay. It's not too bad. Sorry. But anyway, I'm stuttering now. But in most of the cases I saw, people were doing none of that. They were not cooking meals from scratch. They were not using their coupons to buy ingredients to make their own stuff. They weren't growing gardens and the like. So, generally speaking, I think if you can find, if you live in a place where that can work, I bet you could take a lot of that and apply it towards those things maybe you can't make, don't have the space or ability to make. But again, finding a proper balance, I think, is just far more important than putting all of your time and effort into this one thing when there's so much more. You need to stop doing that, Jace. Please. Okay? Go find the ball. Or go draw on the board over there. Remember? Go get the pens. Where's the ball? The ball. Where is it? Can you go find it? Little booger. Okay, I think I had a few more points I wanted to cover here. Here's some things I find absolutely, and again, no offense to anyone who may buy these products, but in my personal opinion, that there are some of these products that are absolutely worthless, and I don't see the point on stocking up on them and having them take space in one's pantry. And that's things like mouthwash. Now, I kind of covered this the other day. Like, I've never been one to buy mouthwash. To me, it's silly. If you're taking good oral, care of your oral health, maybe even doing okay, you need to stop. You need to stop. Go find something to play with, okay? Doing the coconut oil pull, or, the other things I was talking about that I'm not allowed to mention on YouTube, infused precious metal infused water with maybe a few drops of peppermint oil or something. There's so much you can do to kill the bad bacteria in your mouth. You don't need to spend money or even coupons or the time it takes to clip coupons or the space it takes in your pantry to stock up on mouthwash. I think I'm sorry, people, but in my personal opinion, that is an absolute waste of space. Along with that would be things like a lot of your specialty cleaners. Okay, so some people had, okay, a specialty carpet cleaner, for cleaning spots, a specialty cleaner for windows. You can use vinegar. You can use vinegar mixed with water, even. Specialty cleaner. I don't know. You name it. What did I miss here? I was just getting ready to say something else. Specialty cleaner just for counters, specialty cleaner just for tubs. You name it, the list goes on. Okay. Yeah, he's really kind of getting on my nerves because I think what's bothering me most is that he's doing it on purpose because he knows he's being obnoxious. That's when it really irritates me. But I'm glad that he's not bothering you guys as much. But anyway, he's a good kid. He's just being a little more testy today. So, and I know how background noises, I don't think it's as bad with a mic like this where it's pointed directly at me, but like when I'm shooting videos on my iPhone, every background noise sounds super loud. Patrick could be eating breakfast and just the sound of him crunching his cereal. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I can tell it's going to be too loud. Hey, go play that over there. Go over there and play. You can play with the car. Just go over there. I think he's trying to find the loudest things. I thought covering up the foosball table would help. It's not helping. Let's see. What else did and then cleaning wipes. Same thing. Why are we okay, that's enough, both of you. Why are we stocking up on packages and packages and packages and packages of cleaning wipes? All you need is a rag and your own homemade cleaner. Be it your vinegar, whatever it is that you're using. Okay, now the dog. Stop. Oh my gosh. Ugh. This is stressing me out, people. And then next week we'll probably be looking at the same thing. Last week this one and that one were being so quiet and good. Not today. And the other one I'm not going to say is an absolute waste because this is one of those things that it took me a while to get into, to even think about, let alone get into. And not everybody is ready to delve into it. And that would be cloth feminine products, replacing all those packages of feminine products, disposable feminine products that most are really not good for you in the first place, by making your own cloth or even buying some from Etsy, because there's a lot of people that sell them on Etsy. I was making and selling them for a short period of time. But if people only understood, and then there's the other things too, like the little silicone thing, which that I just don't think I could do that. That one concerns me, but it's supposed to be safe. I just don't know about that one. I just think there's something a little too unnatural about using that. But before I stopped having my cycle, I got into making the cloth, and I just had some flannel I picked up at a garage sale that I cleaned really well and made my own design and made my feminine products out of that. And I was so nervous the first time I went to try them. First time, I said, I'm never going back. And I never did. They're so much more comfortable. They're healthier. They're just better all the way around. And the money it saves long term is a lot. And you're not having to stock up on packages and packages and packages of these things. And the same goes, it's really no different than cloth diapers. I mean, I did cloth diapers for my kids. I remember thinking when it finally occurred to me, it's like, why didn't I think of trying this before? I mean, I did cloth diapers with my kids. Why didn't I think of trying the cloth feminine products and some of the other cloth things I switched to over the years? So I don't want to say that's a complete waste of money and time, those kind of things. For me, it would be. I know that's not for everybody because we've been so conditioned. I mean, even though that's what women used for centuries. But then we became conditioned that, we got to have this disposable stuff. Then pretty soon all that other stuff went out the window and we forgot it was ever even a thing. So how about you go play with those out there? So I'm going to try that. Maybe I'll make him go over there. He just is wanting to do everything on the table or right below me, everything noisy. So, okay, let me double check. Okay, I'm going to hit this point again. I already did mention it, but the consideration of the amount of space all these separate little packages takes up is actually enormous when you start putting it all together. Even the little envelopes of things. When you already have like when you already know how to make soup from scratch and how easy it is, you don't need to stock up on cans of soup. You don't need to stock up on little packets. You just got to have the ingredients to make it. And you can save so much more space doing it that way. Thank you, Deb. Thank you. Yeah, that's the whole video, but yeah. I can't remember if in that one seemed like there's something I've done different since in making them, but I don't recall. Maybe it's virtually the same. But yeah, I mean, especially as I'm looking at the bottles and bottles and bottles and bottles of cleaning supplies of all different kinds, I'm just like, wow, that is so much space. So let's put aside the harmful chemicals and stuff that are used in these. Let's just forget about that for a minute. The space. Oh, and here's another thing. The trash it then makes. All these packages. I didn't even think to put this in my notes. All these packages, all these plastic bottles and jugs and more that are just going to go into the landfill. So and that costs money too. It costs people money. Are they considering it's not free when they have to pay to have that stuff hauled off? So anyway, so there are my points on that. So let's see. Okay, Brandy did ask that. Okay, and then Deb sent the link. Cool. You know what? Thank you guys. Thank you for being understanding about my grandson being here. It kind of stresses me out, and I worry, because I'm so used to worrying about all the background noise. I mean, I turn, I have to turn on the heater in here every once in a while. It was really chilly in here, so I turned the heater on so it wouldn't be too cold in here when I came to do my live. But I made sure to turn the heater off before I started because I'm worried it's going to make too much noise. But the amount of noise he's making is way more than that heater would make if it cycled on. Okay, I'm just scrolling up to see if there's any, let's see, I was on the bandwagon years ago. At the same time, it saved us a fortune in cleaning and drugstore products, but the time it took was overwhelming. Exactly. We save much more money and buying in bulk from Azure. Great. Thank you for that comment. Because I mean, honestly, I never got into extreme couponing. I would just be like, "Oh, here's a coupon. I can use this." And, "Oh, let me try this out." And then when I started realizing that every now and then I was buying stuff I'd normally not buy in the first place, I'd stop doing that. I would only use the in-store coupons they would have, which usually weren't even coupons because usually it was just sales. But a lot of times they'd have the in-store coupons for things like fruits, vegetables, meats, and so on. I tried coupons but didn't save much. I rather use rewards from there you go. There you go. Rewards. Right. Right. Good point. Azure, I always forget this, but you earn rewards with Azure Standard. It's not a lot, but it's still something. And Butcher Box now I can earn rewards from that. And I don't buy from Butcher Box that much anymore. It's like maybe once every few months or so. And that's just to restock some very basic things. But like I get my beef bacon from Painted Hills, and that's where I'll get and I have done this before, but from now on, that's where I'll get my beef franks, 100% all beef. I tried some from Butcher Box. They're good, and Jace really loves them, the beef ones. But they don't, when you go to like barbecue them for putting in a hot dog bun, while the flavor of them is excellent, they just don't fill up the hot dog bun where the Painted Hills ones do. And those are really good as well. The same thing with the Thousand Hill that I was getting that I tried from Azure Standard. They had a good taste, but again, they didn't fill up the bun when you'd cook them. They didn't plump up or anything. They were just, you would have like this much bun at the end, each end of the hot dog. You'd have to put like two in there or one and a half. So anyway, but yeah, then the beef bacon, especially Painted Hills, and Painted Hills is out of Oregon. I love buying from them because it's a US business. It's they're ranchers. They grow, they raise their own beef and then they sell these products, and it's just a state down from me. So I love purchasing from them. They don't use antibiotics and all that stuff on their cattle. So anyway, and their beef bacon, especially their newer one called the classic beef, I love it. I like it even better than their original one, which is still really good, but it's thicker and chewier, so it doesn't like crisp up the same way that like regular bacon would. But since the what they're calling classic bacon, beef bacon, it has more fat on it, and it's cut thinner. It actually crisps up nicely, and it tastes so good. I love it, and now I can use that beef bacon fat drippings, grease, whatever you want to call it, for frying potatoes in, for stir frying vegetables or whatever. Oh, so good. It is so good. And it's a way I can make the most of it as well. Because it isn't cheap, but I don't even think pork bacon, I haven't bought it in a long, long time, but I don't even think that's all that cheap anymore either. Um, I've been playing the grocery game for 20 years. I actually paid a subscription at first. Grocery game? Are you just talking about okay, Maria, sorry. She would match sales to coupons. Yeah, matching sales to coupons was the way a lot of these people do that. I utilize the I Bought It app for things, never heard of that. I already like, but maybe can't afford or to try things. And that's a great idea too for trying things. Exactly. I would like to try, but not at full price. Sometimes it will be items I already use and Shopkick. See, I've never heard of any of these places. Maybe I should look into that. But then again, I don't know how good that will do me since most of my groceries are ordered online because I won't shop locally. The only time, sometimes if Patrick has to run into the store to get something, because our store, I will say it's a great store as being a one-stop shop place because you've got the grocery side, you've got a clothing department, and then you've got the hardware side. You also got the shoe department. So, I mean, you can get everything there. It's great for the tourists who come here, because of Twilight. They come here to see Edward and Bella's whatever. Um, I don't care. But anyway, they like he might have to go in there to get, a drill bit or some nails or something. And, if he's in there, maybe he'll run over and buy some organic bananas because that's the only thing I have not been able to order is bananas. And sometimes it's nice to have bananas. They are phone. Yeah, I figured they were probably phone apps. But my question is I'd need something I could use online, not not in not in a physical store. The only physical store I would go into at all would not be here as far as groceries go. It wouldn't be local. I mean, it wouldn't be in Forks. Maybe Port Angeles. No, not even Port Angeles. It would be Squim, which is 75 miles from here because that's where the Costco is. So there are a few things I can still get cheaper at Costco, but I'm not going to drive in there just to get the organic whole milk in there because that's the cheapest place I can get it because I'm not saving anything. So it's just like the whole coupon idea. So you're adding another hour and a half just of drive time, wear and tear on your vehicle, the fuel, the time, it takes to shop and get this stuff. So typically, if a Costco trip happens at all, it's only because somebody had, Patrick had to go in there for something anyway into town. And it's like, well, while you're in there, you might as well stop in and buy some milk and some butter. And some of the, no, not even the butter. I can't even get the butter cheaper at Costco. I can get it cheaper and have it be organic and grass fed at Azure Standard and just order a case of it every time I do my order. Well, not necessarily every time, but I try to put something in there, put one of them in there every month because sometimes when the order comes due, they're out of that butter. And this is what happened to me last time. So like, oh, I found another one, put that in there. That one was out. So then I found another one, put that in there, and that one came in. And it was actually pretty good. It was called Grazier's. It's a grass-fed organic butter. So it was pretty good. But anyway, so the question on Azure Standard, yes, they will deliver in two different ways. The best, cheapest way to go about it is if you happen to have a drop point near you, and you would have to go to the Azure Standard site. Azure Standard is always linked in my description box, by the way. It is my referral link. So if somebody goes through that link and orders at least $100 worth of items, I get a $25 credit to my account, but don't feel like you have to do that either. I'm just letting you know how it works. But if you go to that site, there's I forget what it's called, but if you look up at the top where there's like different tabs and stuff, and you can find, I think it might even say find a drop point, or maybe even at the very bottom of the page, and you can see if there's a drop point near you. We've only within the past year got a drop point here, and it's been the most exciting thing because I've been waiting for one for years. I even tried to set one up myself years ago, but some of it is all about finding a driver that's willing to make the loop that would come through Forks because we're so out of the way. They'd go to Port Angeles to go to Squim, but for me, it wasn't worth it to drive in there for that because again, you'd have to pick it up at a certain time, et cetera, and then you're still got the drive time. So before the drop point came, which for us, we don't pay any shipping at our drop point, but a lot of people have to pay like a 8.5% on their order. That helps to cover the shipping, and everybody kind of pays that all the way across the board. That's how it gets spread out. And that is because the company is actually, sorry, he does that every time he hears my phone go off, because the company is actually using their own truck and driving the products around the country and delivering them to the different drop points. But if you don't have one, what I was doing was ordering, and you could choose to have it shipped via USPS or UPS, maybe Federal Express, and depending on the order, it'll show you the price of the shipping for each one of those, and then you could select one. I'd go with whichever one was cheaper, and that's all gonna depend on what you're ordering. You have to keep in mind that when you're ordering big, heavy items, it's going to cost a lot in shipping. However, when I did the math, the cost of the shipping added to the cost per pound of the organic, non-GMO grains that I order and other items, I was still either saving money doing that and paying the shipping as I would have buying it somewhere else, or, maybe paying a little bit more or breaking even. And so to me, it was still worth it to do it that way and pay the shipping. But now I'm saving more money because we have the drop point. It's right here in our own town. So, and that is typically once a month. And depending on where it is, some I think might do them twice a month. Some might even do them weekly. Guess it just depends on how big they are, because it's all, the size of the order. They won't ship to a drop point unless your order, the total order is a certain size. They started off with ours was higher, and they actually lowered it down quite a bit. And so it's now we've only missed one order because we didn't meet the minimum. But since they lowered the minimum, it's not been an issue. So it's been great. I can't keep up with all the different apps. Same, Gudrun, same. I can't even keep apps on my phone. I only keep the bare minimum because they eat up so much space. And I just, and every doggone update your phone does eats up even more space. And I need that space. And in fact, I finally just went ahead and bought myself, I'm still using the same phone, but I bought myself a new phone that has, what is it? I don't remember how many gigabytes. It's a lot compared to what I think this one has 64. Um, and even though I keep removing apps and cleaning out my memory and, the browser history and all that kind of stuff, that it's still, I think they do this on purpose so that eventually you'll have to just buy a new phone because you don't have any space left no matter how many apps you remove from your phone. But anyway, so I'll have that as my backup when this gets to a point where it's like, okay, this phone is useless now. 'Cause I've done everything I can. So yeah, I avoid apps. The only one I keep on here is Instagram because I can upload and edit reels directly to Instagram. And then I do have YouTube on here because sometimes I'm listening to YouTube during that, but I don't have my YouTube dashboard on here. That's a whole nother app. I hated that you had to have a whole separate app just to see your dashboard. If you have if you have, if you're a content creator, well, separate app. Just like Facebook, you can have Facebook, and then you have to have Facebook Messenger if you want to read and reply to messages on your phone. I was like, forget that. I got rid of Messenger a long time ago, and then I just got rid of Facebook. I'm like, I don't need my phone for that. I'll do it on my computer. And let's see, and Marco Polo, because that's how my sister and I chat with each other. And then of course I've got, email and, got to have my browser, but typically most everything I do is on the computer. Anyway, yeah, try to keep it down to the bare minimum. So let's see. We have a beef cow and what? Okay, that sounds like it's a continuation. See, I've only found a couple items that are cheaper through Azure, and one was an organic chicken feed that was shipping from my area all the way to Oregon, then coming back on Azure's truck. What? That's crazy. I see. I can't. Okay, what else here? What did Deb say here? Full freezers are a blessing, right? My freezers are full right now, especially since I just had my butcher box come in, and most of it filled up what remaining space I had. But it seems like I've got something else that, yeah, I try to keep some space in there for when I'm stocking up on other stuff through Azure. But hey, what does it say? There's a Bedison. Sometimes you don't know if you're reading it right because it's all one word. Hey, Deep South is here. Probably been here for a while, and I'm only just now seeing because I get on a roll and I'm not looking at my comments or my chat. Bare minimum with online presence. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, you're talking about the freezers. Okay. You have beef cow in one, chickens that are processed along with odds and ends in the other. Yeah, we try to do most of our meat in the biggest freezer, though I have other things in there too. And then the other freezer is used for things like the blackberries and the grapes, like the blackberries we pick from our other piece of property down the road here, the grapes, and apples when I'm making, even though I'll dehydrate a lot of apples, I also still like to cut a bunch up and make like an apple pie filling and then freeze it. So all I have to do is thaw it out and dump it into my pie crust when I get my pie crust made. Now he's coloring. Now that I'm done with the main topic, now he's over there quietly coloring on the whiteboard. Good job, buddy. You're doing a good job. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, there are so many other ways, just to sum it up, that you can find to save money and free up more time than spending 30 to 60 hours a week, because that's what it takes to be able to get the kind of outcome these people are getting. So nothing wrong with using coupons, and I'd use them if I went shopping in a physical store. Costco doesn't take coupons unless they're their own. Again, their own coupons. Well, then yeah, okay, I'd use them if I was going in there. But we only get to Costco maybe a couple times a year. And so, yeah, but there can be value in it, and it's a matter of excuse me, just the prioritization, and that goes with any of your shopping. Like, some people do not find Azure Standard, as somebody was mentioning here, to be the best value for them. Totally understandable. For us, it is, because of where we live. We're so remote, and being able to get like grains and stuff in bulk, especially quality grains, organic, non-GMO in bulk, we can't get that here. It's just not going to happen here. Just like finding, a lot of people will brag about their raw dairy. Well, that's great. I used to be able to get it for a while, till the lady that she was actually giving it to us because she appreciated our channel so much. She was doing it as a favor, just to pay us for the time that went into creating content. And that was great. And I appreciated it so much. However, life happened and she had to get rid of her goats. And I haven't been able to find anyone I can depend on that has goats or cows that is willing to sell or barter for their raw milk. And then the closest place I know is about 80 miles away. And again, it's one of those things that we don't travel. So I have to depend on places like Azure Standard, the Costco on the rare occasion we get in there. Of course, then you think, why don't we drive that little bit farther? But it is even more out of the way to go do that. But or Misfits Market, but Misfits Market isn't carrying the organic milk anymore. They stopped carrying it all of a sudden. So I'm like, great. So I have to depend on that. And our local store does carry the organic, I think Organic Valley. But it's a lot more here. But if I had to, that would be one of those things that's like, okay, I would buy that here. Oh, I'm sorry. I misread that. My eyes and my brain apparently are not working right. Sorry, I probably just sounded super loud as I was so close to the mic. So Azure is almost always a better price. The chicken feed was the exception. Oh, I read it backwards. I am so sorry. But there are people, though. There are people that find that that is not Azure Standard isn't the best price for them, because they have local places where they can buy these organic whole grains in bulk and save even more money, and totally cool. So I get it. I don't want to sound like one of these people like Azure Standard, and it'd be an Azure Standard snob or something. It's the only place to shop. There's a reason why I've been cutting out more and more stuff and focusing more and more on Azure Standard. One being that we do have a drop point. Another being that at least I'm supporting a business that's somewhat local to me, is within the United States. It started out as a small family business and it grew, and they're faith-based. I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but also because I'm finding more and more of the places Misfits Market being one of them. It's like some of the stuff I used to get there is not only more expensive now there, plus I got to pay shipping. It might be a flat rate shipping, but I still got to pay shipping. But like the organic bell peppers, I can get them cheaper through Azure Standard per pound than I can from Misfits Market, and I'm not paying the shipping, so I'm saving even more, and Misfits Market isn't carrying the milk. And it's like, okay, So now even a lot of my produce, which I couldn't do with Azure Standard before a drop point, because you can only there's certain things you can only do if you have a drop point, and that would be ordering like the meat products, unless it's canned meat or something. But like fresh meat, fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, you or certain a lot of the frozen stuff you cannot order um from Azure and have it shipped, USPS or UPS. That can only be done if you have a drop point, because they have a special like freezer section on the truck where they keep all of that kind of stuff in. And so yeah, more and more of my produce now is coming from there. My onions, the peppers, cabbage, uh, and I've gone several weeks without buying anything from Misfits Market now. And in the milk, I was so glad I finally was able to get the milk in this last order. I've tried twice, 2 other times to order it, and it was out of stock by the time my order came up. And I probably would have ordered 2 cases of it if I had had room in my freezer. Okay, we have the same challenges for organics in urbanized Southwest Washington. Affordability and accessibility can be a challenge. We keep looking for a good local, but Azure wins most of the time. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. So, and you probably know we are also in Washington, but we are in the Northwest. So we're in Forks, Washington. And just a lot. Like I said, it took years to get a drop point set up, because I think most of the drivers were just like, nope, that's too far out of the way. I don't want to do it. But now they found someone who was willing to do it. And I know this last time, he just, the lady that is coordinating it, she lives close to our park, our one park, and there's a big parking area just right down. It's basically a dead end, because her street dead ends at that parking area behind. Well, it's not really a dead end, but it goes into the parking area behind the park. And so he can go turn around in there, he can park and sleep in his little sleeper cab that night, and the next morning come drop off the order and then head off to the next place. So it works out really good. Okay, was there anything else I wanted to talk about? Well, it's been almost an hour. Even though the boy, the grandson, was a little more noisy at the beginning than usual, my throat's been holding up a lot better today. Which, by the way, I will say, the health issues I've been kind of battling with, I've talked a little bit about in the live shows. I'm getting closer and closer to shooting that video because I'm feeling better all the time. It seems like the things I'm doing are working. The kids brought a cold around again. Patrick got it. I thought I got it, maybe because I've been getting stuffed up at night, but that tends to happen this time of year. And I just heard my eggs rotating over there. But so far so good. I'm doing great. It's usually every time I get a cold, it sets me back. I have to start all over from square one. And so I still want to wait a while before I shoot the video and go into detail about what I've been doing. But I'm just praying that I'm finding the answer, at least for myself, and that it will be something that I can share with others who are having the same struggles with this. Because, like somebody said on my video today that published about the greens, and I mentioned in there about, that was shot 6 weeks ago, about some of the health issues, just some things I've been struggling with. So trying to focus on these certain greens that I know are super high in the nutrients my body needs most right now. Somebody said, "Oh, that's so discouraging because we know you try to live really healthy, et cetera, et cetera." And oh, I just find that so discouraging. And it's like, well, you know what? It doesn't matter. I mean, I'm not gonna okay, let me reword that. It does matter how healthy we try to be. We should be doing the best we can to make our own foods, grow what we can organically, and if we can't grow it, to try to buy it organically or barter with someone who does, to try to get off, the synthetic medications as much as is possible. And it's like the shirt, for example. You might have noticed I recently got myself a new yellow shirt. You won't be seeing me wear the yellow, white, black plaid one I had because when I bought that one online, I thought I was buying 100% cotton. And one day it dawned on me, this does not feel like cotton. And I might still wear it on occasion just to shoot a video, only if I only have to wear it for a few minutes. That thing was polyester. I knew there was something wrong with it. After you start feeling like something doesn't feel right. So I ordered this very light, gauzy, 100% cotton, and I can tell it's cotton. And these kind of changes that we make. But what people have to understand is no matter how healthy you are, no matter how hard you try to be healthy, there are still going to be things that you have no control over. We can't always control what's in our air, can't always control what's in our water. Uh, we're being exposed to stuff all the time. So we just have to keep plugging along and doing the best to support our immune systems. And yeah. So, like I said, I'll go into more detail on this. And some of you already know because you've heard me talk about it some. I just don't want to go get into it now because if I start talking about it now, I'll be going for another hour. But I just want to make sure that what I'm doing that because I've been feeling really good. I'm back to doing my regular exercises again that I hadn't been able to do for a while because every time I'd try, I'd just I'd get winded too quickly. My whole body would hurt and the fatigue was just killing me. But now I can do that. I've been out working and, cleaning out the chicken coop. I got the little mini coop, not the car, but the little coop that Patrick made that goes inside the bigger coop for the younger chicks. Once I move them from the box we have in here, the little brooder that we made for them in here, and I move them in there. I got that all cleaned out. I didn't get sore. I didn't get winded. And so it's really exciting to finally feel like I'm making progress again. I just want to wait it out long enough to make sure because I believe and this is where I'm going to talk a little spiritual again. So if you're an atheist and just heads up. I kind of believe there's a reason why God has allowed me to go through what I'm going through. I really feel and believe that it is for a purpose that is beyond me, but it is for the purpose, and I hope I'm right in this, for me to really crack down, find out what's going on, and find what I can do to change it and make it better so that I can share that with other people because there's many, many, many other people dealing with this. It is not a curable thing. 95% of the world's population is infected with it. And it's not the 2020 virus. This goes back to the 1960s. And anything can activate it. And so we got to know how to build our immune system and how to fight it the best we can, at least to be able to keep functioning and get done. Because that's been the hard part is being able to get done the things I need to get done. It's like my bathroom ceiling, here, because of our humidity and stuff in the bathroom, it doesn't get as bad as it used to, but I got to clean it. I got to wipe down the ceiling and the walls every so often. And, because it gets humid in there. And I noticed yesterday, wow, this needs to be done. I wonder how I'm going to feel if I get up there and climb up on the counter and climb up on the ladder and start cleaning the ceiling. And I didn't get it all done yesterday. It was mostly because of time, but not because I was too tired. If this had been a few weeks ago, I wouldn't have been able to do it at all. And it just felt good to be able to do a simple task like that I haven't been able to do in a while because it hurt too much. So at any rate, there's good news. And I hope and pray that what I have to share will help other people. Because, it just really felt that the Father was telling me, this is why, this is why I'm taking you through this, is to force you to look harder into this issue. Do your research. Because, I know going to a doctor isn't going to help anyone for this. It won't. They'll say, well, there's no cure. There's nothing we can do. but there are ways that you can help counteract and balance it out to be able to function in your life. And so I am excited about doing it. I just don't want to do it too soon if there's more that I can say and share with people. So I'm really looking forward to it though. So I've been listening to Logan Duvall's channel, Sowing Prosperity. And why is this little thing in my way? There we go. And Dr. Morley Robbins podcast that other channels who interview him post. Oh, I'm probably reading this out of context. I thought, let's see. Tina Smith says, God has his plan and you staying positive yet truthful is very helpful. Thank you, Tina. I will say that I've had moments where I just cry. I just sit and cry. Those are the times you don't see. The times I just am like, am I ever going to get better, Lord? Am I ever going to be able to do the things I once used to do? Because it's painful. I mean, not just physically painful. It's painful to not be able to just get up and go do those things without being in so much pain and being winded and wondering if I can ever do it again. And I was starting to get scared with garden season coming up. It's like, am I going to be able to do anything? So that thought, I was like, there's got to be something. There's got to be something more I can do to help myself out and thus turn around and help others. Especially the helping others part. This means a lot to me. So again, if there's anyone out there suffering with something like chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, chronic illnesses like constant colds and viruses that you one time you used to never get sick and all of a sudden you're catching everyone that comes along. There's a lot of them that link to the same thing. And just be watching because I will be going over that. Let's see. Was there anything else? Oh gosh, this is a total side note. Nothing to do with anything. And I do need to get going, but I gotta say this. It's kind of funny and yet annoying at the same time. So I had this video where I was talking about, I don't know, it's a few years old, standing in the kitchen, and I'm talking about, other ways to store foods that where you can get away from things like, plastic containers, plastic bags, et cetera, et cetera. I think it was that, how to be a little more plastic free anyway. I mean, some of that stuff is almost impossible to totally avoid. But again, it's one of those things we try to do the best we can, right? And so on my counter, I had all of this stuff laid out because it was all things I was using to demonstrate and to show people. Like I had bowls stacked up with plates on them because I was showing people how you can take a lot of your bowls, your regular plates will fit over the bowl like a lid. So if you have a salad, just put the bowl over there. You don't have to, put the plate over the bowl. And you don't even have to use plastic wrap. So I had a whole bunch of stuff on my counter. I don't think this person even watched my video. She just comes in there and goes, "Oh, what a messy counter. You should, if I were you, I'd be cleaning up my counter before I start shooting videos." And I said, well, first off, rude. And secondly, well, if you were actually paying attention, you would realize that every item out there was for demonstration purposes. They all had a purpose. Some people just really have a lot of nerve. They want to say crazy stuff like that, but don't bother watching the video to see why you might have a messy counter. Oh my gosh, people are such jerks. I don't remember if I've told you guys this one. One of the most rude comments I got years ago it was not long after my mother died. And in the video, it was one of those videos where I was talking about hair care or something like that. So it was kind of an older one. And I was talking about how I only wash my hair with like a soap base, whether it be homemade soap or homemade shampoo or whatever, maybe once a week. And then I wash my hair with vinegar the rest of the time. And this woman, she got in there. I'm not going to call her a lady because she wasn't a lady. She started ripping me up one side and down the other and talking about how disgusting I was because I only wash my hair once a week and on and on and on and on and on. I mean, it was awful. She was so rude. And the last thing she said in her comment was, by the way, like, I don't even know why she said this because nobody was talking about washing sheets. She said, you should wash your sheets once a week. Or didn't your mama teach you that? Are you kidding me? Well, first of all, I do wash our sheets once a week. I have a set day every Sunday. So she makes this just crazy rude assumption, ends it with that. And I'm like, the nerve of some people. So it was another one of these people that obviously didn't actually take time to listen to the video and what I was actually saying. And so I said, so I told her, if you were actually listening to the video, you would have heard what I said. And I said, and guess what? My mama did teach me right, and I've missed her every day since her recent passing. I said, I don't want to make assumptions about your mama, but my guess is she probably tried to teach you manners, but you didn't listen. Bam! Guess what? She deleted her comment. Boop, it was gone. That was I think that was one of my best comebacks to one of my rudest comments. I think I've had some other pretty good comebacks. A lot of rude comments I simply delete. But I have to tell you, it's come to a point, especially when people correct me on how to say herb, HERB, where now it's become like a game. I'm like, "Oh, goody, another person I can rake over the coals and teach them a little bit about manners as well as proper English." And the thing is, I don't care if people say herb because typically there are people in the UK, but not the whole UK. There are certain places around the UK where they pronounce the H. I have no problem with that. But if you're going to get in there and start cussing people out, because I've literally had people cuss me out for that. Why? I don't know. How stupid. But now my response typically goes something like this, where I teach them about the history of the word. So the etymology of the word herb, ERBE, which is French for herb. And so it never had an H to begin with. And even though in French they've since added the H, they still don't pronounce it. But how you pronounce it in your area and your culture that is right for there, cool. Do what's right for your area. But if you're going to get in here and start correcting people about dropping the H on herb, let me ask you this. Do you pronounce the H in words like honest, air, as in HEIR, air, um, honest, did I say that already? Honor, whatever. I had like 4 of them I mentioned that all have silent H's. Well, if you don't pronounce the H's in those, then you're being a hypocrite. And then I'll go on to say, and if you're from the UK and you're one of those that drops the T's in words like battle and kitten, then you're also being a hypocrite. And again, I don't care if people pronounce it that way. That's their culture. That's the way they say words. I don't care. I kind of like it myself. But I'm not going to get in there and start raking people over the coals because of their accent and the way that they pronounce it in their area of the world. Who cares? The only time I care is when I get really confused and I'm not sure what they're saying. Because, it took me a while to figure out what aluminium was. What is aluminium? What is that? Aluminium. Aluminium? And then all of a sudden the light bulb went on and I realized aluminum. Okay. Okay. It's just that's how we pronounce it. It's different. So no problems now that I understand what it means. A touchy-feely society. Right, Tammy. I mean, people just get so bent out of shape over the dumbest things. Okay, well, I'm a people, and I do sometimes get bent out of shape over the dumbest things. Let's be honest here. I think we all do sometimes. But what gets me is the people that have the nerve, they don't know anything about you. They don't actually watch the video, and then they want to come in there and start ripping you over the coals because you don't pronounce a word their way, or because they think you have a messy counter without even understanding that everything you had out on your counter was for the purpose of the video. Duh. But if you're going to be that irreverent, if you're going to be that disrespectful, at least take time to watch the video and, shut your mouth or shut your fingers, watch the video, then you can come back and criticize my messy counter. And you'll realize, oh, it wasn't a messy counter. There was a reason why she had all that stuff all over her counter for this video. Anyway, there I go. See, Danny gets corrected all the time with our Southern drawl. Really? Man, people are just, I listen to people from the UK. I enjoy listening to these people. I would never think to come in there and say, "You're saying that wrong." Yeah, you're not an American. You're supposed to say it how you say it there where you're at. So yeah, even in the United States, depending on what you got your Northeast accents, you got your Southern drawls, you've got the Northwest here, whatever ours sounds like to all of you. I don't know. I mean, everybody just in the United States alone, depending on where you come from, can have a very unique accent. You see this in other languages too. Spanish, it all depends on where you are in the world. People in Spain have a different accent than those in Argentina, and they have a different accent than those in Mexico, et cetera, et cetera. I said Argentina. What's that? Venezuela. Theirs is unique too from all the rest. Are we going to start telling them how to pronounce those words? You're saying it wrong. Anyway, people are such babies sometimes. Everyone says that Minnesotans have their own accent. We talk too fast, I guess. I get accused of talking too fast a lot, especially when I get excited about a topic. In case you haven't noticed, I do notice that people from Minnesota kind of have a little bit unique accent. And then some of the other, I pick up on stuff like this. I enjoy it. It's almost like a pastime. Like I like studying people's facial structures and then taking a guess at what nationality I think they've got. Like I can usually pinpoint the difference between Koreans, Japanese, and Chinese, and also Scottish. Maybe not so much, people from Ireland, but I can usually go, that person must have Scottish blood. They must have. They tend to have a more square jaw. There's just my dad, the one who adopted me when I was 4, he married my mom and he adopted me. He was from Scotland. Well, his ancestry was from Scotland. So he's a full blood Scot. And so when I see his face in another person's face, I'm like, they must have Scottish blood. And almost most of the time I'm right. I love it. It's kind of a game. And I love the way you can hear the different cultures and people's different accents and in their facial structures. I love that. That whole uniqueness that God has given to us that sets us apart. That's the kind of diversity I really love. It's like that here in New Yorkers talk different than me, but I like it nonetheless. You got a quarter? I want to buy a hot dog. Do you think there's really a hot dog out there that's a quarter these days? I don't think so. That's a phrase that always comes to mind. I think of that because when I was in high school and we did West Side Story, and they were our what would you call him? I want to say the teacher because he was also my choir teacher, etc. And he was trying to teach us basically, how to use some of these different accents, like a New Yorker accent. And so that's the one that's why that one always sticks. You got a quarter? I want to buy a hot dog. I don't think I can say anything else with that accent. uh it's true about customer service. Oh, what did I miss? What did I miss? I really gotta get going, you guys. I gotta go make little guy lunch. The only time an accent bothers me is when I need I should have known, is when I need customer service. I need to know what you're telling me. No kidding, right? If I can't understand them, they probably can't understand me either. Exactly. Exactly. It's like I don't the outsourcing thing doesn't bother me entirely, but when there's on some things it does because it's like, does this person really understand where we live? Like there was this whole thing with Verizon and trying to when Patrick's father passed away, we had his phone and we had to shut down his account. Verizon was wanting to charge I don't know how much money for this phone and it was just a little flip phone. They wouldn't even have resold that thing. And they were wanting to charge like $175 because he didn't, the account was closed before he met the requirement. And we're trying to say, he's gone, he's passed away. And we kept getting outsourced, and these people weren't understanding this whole idea. And they kept saying that we needed to drop the phone off, then we need to drop the phone off at our local Verizon store. We don't have one. We don't have a local Verizon store. You need to send us a postage paid envelope and we will gladly ship it off to you. Oh, yeah. Okay. We'll do that. Let's get your address. And so 3 times we went through this. And then they would send us to another bill that we're going to send you to collections. And it's like, okay, what are you not understanding here? And finally, they just stopped hounding us. Well, they wouldn't be sending us to collections. They would be sending his father to collections. It's like, well, good luck with that. So dumb. I mean, it was so we still have the phone. I don't know what we're ever going to do with it, but it's still here. We wouldn't have mind dropping it in a postage paid envelope and sending it back to them, but we don't have a local Verizon store. Get the hint, people. Like they think there's a Verizon store on every corner. Good gravy. Maybe it is where they're from. I don't know. See, I don't know what the deal is with phone and cable companies, but it seems they have the worst customer service regardless. Yeah. Yeah. Isn't it? Let's see here. Park the car in the backyard. I probably didn't do it right. I don't know. I've never even been to New York. And honestly, I have no desire to go. No offense to anyone in New York. I've never had a desire to go because it's just way too big. And little guy's getting loud back there. Hey, buddy, you need to get the lid back on that pen or it's going to dry out. Well, I really should get going. But, thanks again, everyone, my goodness, I've been on here way too long. Thanks again for coming in, for being patient with my grandson. I really appreciate that. You've been more patient with him than me. And I hope you enjoyed the topic. I will be making a shortened version of that section of the live. And hopefully other people may enjoy it too down the road. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thanks for coming in. Take care and God bless. Bye.